Welcome to Thornybush Private Nature Reserve this afternoon, and welcome to our PM Safari Saturday afternoon, May the 10th. No, where are we? Kind of first week of May. No, June. No, we're in June. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's new moon, I know that much. New moon in June. And this is Wild Earth. My name is Mark. Becky on camera. She can't wave to you because we don't have the back cameras back yet. But it's a really strange thing, this equipment that we have, because sometimes we switch it on and we get an instant signal back to camp, and sometimes we switch everything on and we've got to go through a whole rigmarole of no picture, no signal, switch this off, switch that on, switch this off, and eventually, so we're late. I know. Lash me, thrash me, and pull me over the coals. But it's one of those things where we try and go live, and it's the way things work. But it's also Africa time. Africa time is always ish time, so we live at 3-ish, 6:30. Mostly because we've got to deal with temperamental equipment that either wants to wake up or not. But that aside, we are diving right into the sun now, hence my sunglasses. With the future so bright, I have to wear shades. We're going to make our way up to the young male lion eventually. It's been a lovely hot day here at Thornybush, and I dare say he has probably spent most of the day sleeping in the shade, and I dare say that those buffalo spend most of the day sleeping in the mud. And so I dare say that maybe somewhere, yes, I forgot to switch it off. Sorry, they're making a noise. Sorry everyone. My electronic device was interfering. Pilot told me to switch off all the electronic devices for the duration of the flight, and that's what we're doing. So we'll head up there later. I have no doubt that the situation up there at Westall Pad is not going to change very much during the day, although the buffalo might move off. I don't think he would go anywhere unless the buffalo chased him off, in which case he's probably going to just settle down somewhere nearby. Might be a bit of a mission to find him, and then of course the other side of that is maybe he'll start calling as the evening wears on, as the day wears out. However, in the interim we're going to look for a couple of other things. Firstly, on our way back today we found some leopard tracks, very very fresh leopard tracks. I'm going to talk to one of the guys about it shortly when I hear him on the radio, and then we're going to go and look for some elephants and find out where they went to. And then we're going to go up and eventually find this lion and continue the saga of he who calls and doesn't get answered. Continue the saga of the young male lion who is now raising so many questions as to his future and his connection to the pride. Oh, somebody's been here breaking wattle branches. I think what I'm going to do is move it out the way, and while I'm doing that I can look for tracks. That's very strange, and that's elephant track. And this branch is broken from quite high up. But it might have been a gust of wind actually. This is the African wattle. Peltiforum Africanum. The softest leaf you'll ever touch in the bush when they're green. They're starting to lose their leaves now. Ordinarily one expects that you'll find elephant tracks when you find a branch in the road, because we automatically blame it on the elephants. But sometimes the wind is to blame too. Let's go down thicket. Elephants might be down here. Very hot. Lion was, so that possibly chased him off. Or he's just chose his discretion. It was the better part of valor. Buffalo. Thomas, come in. Buffalo lion. They catch you. Yeah, sir. Thomas, just tail is flicking side to side. Oh, he's angry. That tail is flicking side to side. I don't know. Hello, boyki. And we could be in the wrong place right now. Gonna have to stand by on this. Station Madodangala split West Popan. And we just happen to be in the wrong place right now. So he's here, wonderful. Ali's gonna have to stand by on this. He's managed to creep out of the drainage line behind us. And I've got a very narrow wall to reverse on. Our station Madodangala split West. I want to dump Becky in the dam. Pardon? So he's here, wonderful. Ali, he's managed to creep out of the drainage line behind us and don't drink. I've got a very narrow wall to reverse on. I want to dump Becky in the dam. Pardon? No. Narrow. Don't drink. Now filming him is a little bit difficult because we're going to be looking at him into the sun, and that's not ideal. So maybe if we stop here, because we're going to get a lovely reflection of him. Now filming him is a little bit difficult because we're going to be looking at him into the sun, and that's not ideal. So maybe if we stop here, hey Becky, because we're going to get a lovely reflection of him. I'm in the way, maybe I need to there. Any good? Pardon? Any good? I think he's been having a hard time with these buffalo, because two of these buffalo came out of the thick bush down below us, and he was He was a little bit frustrated. I could see his tail flicking from side to side. I think he's been having a hard time with these buffalo because both
not very happy.
Two of these buffalo came out.
I don't think he was doing it at us.
And he was
sadly, of course, he
was a
decided
little
to
bit
come
frustrated. I could see his tail flicking from side to side.
No wonder I wasn't really going so
good.
Trying to reverse.
Not very happy.
Been a bit of a nightmare.
I don't think he was doing it at us. It was fallen over.
And sadly, of course, he decided to come out. No wonder I wasn't really going so good. Trying to reverse it through there would have been a bit of a nightmare. It would have fallen over.
So the saga continues. So the saga continues. But I think maybe we should try and get around to there where Thomas is. Okay, but I think maybe we should try and
really lovely from here, but the light is a little bit awkward.
Okay.
Really lovely from here, but the light is a little bit awkward.
TV's good.
One.
TV's good.
One.
Okay, now that's fine. Put the strap there, the strap, the cooler box. Okay, now that's fine. Put the strap there. The strap is there. Strap. The cooler box. Now the strap is there. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks, Thomas. Still watching the buffalo. Buffalo still on the other side. Right where he was this morning. I think still watching the buffalo.
3 of them there, I think. Maybe
Buffalo
all
still
4.
on the other side.
I think they just put the sign them to stay.
Right where he was this morning. I think they put
some sort of message.
3 of them there, I think. Maybe all 4.
I think they just put the sign them to stay. Trying to get in some sort of message.
Yeah, 4, 5 bulls now.
This could be an interesting because
4, 5 bulls now.
if they see him, they might just want to chase him off. There's actually beautiful light.
No, it's very similar to our scene this morning. This morning we were on the other side of the dam with him on that side where the buffalo are now,
want to chase him off.
and the buffalo were on this side.
There's actually beautiful light.
No, this morning we had morning light, so
morning.
it was good for us.
This morning we were on the other side of the dam
thing
with him
afternoon
on that
light,
side where the
perfect.
buffalo are now,
and the buffalo were on this side. But this morning we had morning light, so it was good for us this morning, and now it seems to be the same thing. Afternoon light, perfect. Some dynamic going on there with these buffalo. There's some dynamic going on there with these buffalo. That is a big bull. The one that has walked into the water. I think that's probably why the other 3 scattered, because he's clearly the main man of this little group of bulls. The one that has walked into the water. I think that's probably why the other 3 scattered, because he's clearly the main man of this little group of bulls.
Such beautiful light on these buffalo. Such beautiful light on these buffalo. I guess if you don't move, the buffalo don't see you, because none of these buffalo have seen him. They must have been interacting with him at some time during the day, because they've come out of the area where he was lying up. Because none of these buffalo have seen him. Well, they must have been interacting with him at some time during the day, because there's not much he can do about it. They've come out of the area where he was lying up, and inexperienced to try and take one out on his own. But also with 5 bulls, although 4 of them have moved up into the tree line now, leaving this big bull behind. I think this big bull is experienced, maybe a little bit too much to try and take one out on his own. Kind of like biting off more. But also with 5 bulls, although 4 of them have moved up into the tree line now, leaving this big bull behind. I think this big bull is with the cool temperatures maybe a little bit too much. Sun going down. Wonderful that he's come out biting lie up in the open like this for us. And with the cool temperatures now and the sun going down. Wonderful that he's come out to lie up in the open like this for us. Buffaloes being irritated by flies. Buffaloes being irritated by flies. Oh, he's also made way for him, because they don't want to get in his way. He's probably not in a very good mood at the moment. Of course, he's vulnerable, seeing out of only one eye at the moment. And then, of course, by the time he's 6 years old, he'll have a black nose. And there's still a few little pink spots on his nose that tell me that he's not quite 5 years old yet. Well, Debbie, hopefully that's just answered your question about whether he would take on these buffaloes. Is that you or them doing it themselves? Oh. They are. They were both recording, just briefly, while I was playing with them. So not likely that he's going to go for one of these bulls. You know, with 5 bulls in well, not quite a bachelor herd, because they're not bachelors. They're old bulls. They're Duggar boys. They've passed their prime. They've done their bit for the buffalo community, and they now just want to have a bit of peace and quiet away from the herd. But if he were to do anything, they'd gang up on him, and his life would be in danger. And he knows that, so he's not even going to try and do anything. He is watching. There's something else behind us that he's keeping his eye on. That's looking directly into the sun. I can't see anything there. Okay, Linda in Hot Dallas. I think I've answered that question, Linda. I'm wanting to know his age. Somehow I must have anticipated that question because I just mentioned. Probably in the region of 4, 4.5, maybe around there. He's older than 3. His mane is bigger than a 3-year-old, but his nose is still a little bit pink, and it tells me that he's not quite full grown yet. Someone somewhere will have the age of the cubs. He's got 2 sisters, and the 2 sisters and the mother, there are details about their history here at Thornybush. Lovely tree trunk there. Right, now I think if we're going to try and get to see this leopard, we need to start heading back to camp, because she's quite close to camp. It's quite a way to go. Any station coming up to Waxville Plan for Madodangala? At the moment he's lying next to the Marti. The Zanyari have moved off into the Shatin. Really nice light and nice visual at the moment. Okay, well I'll stick around until you're close, just in case he gets up and moves. Okay, copy, thanks. Hello, Shelley, Ontario, Canada. A few Canadian friends on board this afternoon. Shelley wanting to know what age he'd be interested, or what age he'd probably be forming his own pride. It's around about now that a young male would leave the pride. What makes things a little bit different under these circumstances, there is no pride male. There is a big male that has been courting the females and has possibly been mating with, I'm not even too sure who the father is of the cubs, because their father is different to the father of, there are 2 sets of cubs in this pride, 2 different ages, 2 different fathers, but the fathers don't really know that the others have been sired by another father. So there isn't really a pride male. There is this other male that has come out of nowhere, and he's been chased by the females of the Black Dan pride. And so he hasn't had a father or fathers, coalition of males, to chase him off, because sometimes even as early as 3 years old they get chased off. He is now at this prime age for him to move on his own and to be nomadic for a couple of years. He's not old enough as yet to form his own pride, because essentially he would have to take over a territory of another male. He would have to challenge a male or for that matter, a coalition of males. He isn't in a coalition. It would be difficult for him to challenge 2 or 3 males. But in the time that it takes from him from now, which is at about maybe 3.5, 4 years old, until his 5th or 6th birthday, it's this period of time that he has to become somewhat nomadic, has to be bounced around from pride to pride, or from pride male to pride male, having fights, having scraps, probably getting his butt kicked from time to time, to build up strength, to build up technique, and to become a big enough male that he can challenge an existing male for a territory. There are not very many places where he could just go and set up home, set up shop, as it were, and hope that females are going to join him to form a pride, because territories are pretty much back to back with lion in most cases, and it's not a case of being able to find a new territory for yourself. Normally what happens is you've got to move through other lion territories, fight with them, and be pushed from pillar to post until such time as you can come back and oust them when they're getting a little bit older and a little bit decrepit, and then you can take over their territory and then establish a pride base of your own, normally by killing whatever cubs there are to induce estrus in the females so that you can sire your own cubs. He is possibly going to be moving around. Who knows, he might even have to leave Thornybush. There are 1 or 2 places that he can do that, and who knows where he's going to go. The whole point of us being here is to try and find something like this that is happening, a dynamic that is changing constantly. Every day there are new things happening, and he, if anything, is one of the ones to watch, because who knows, this could be that very moment when he's no longer being part of the pride, when he's moving out onto his own, on his own. The thing on his lips looking a lot better. Seems to be closing. It was a lot bigger than that when I first saw that gash. It is quite a gash. That's going to be a scar for the rest of his life. That's one of those scars that we'll identify him by, but it's also one of those, having received that scar, would have been in a fight that would have taught him some valuable lessons for the next time that he does come across a big male. You're getting used to my voice, Koiki. Hope so. I want to spend quite a bit of time with you in the near future. Oh, dove gave him a fright. You're not going to do very well against big male lions if a dove gives you a fright. Listening to something. Are you going to start calling again? Yawn and a stretch. You're going to get up and move. Yep. Figured as much. Oh, that's why. You're going to make smellies. He's going to start walking now, and we're going to possibly lose him. Really in fantastic condition, this lion. He's lost all of that bloated belly that he had from eating the wildebeest a couple of days ago.
Mark, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, he did get up, toileted. He's laid down again, a little bit away from the mighty, but he's still same spot on the western side of the dam. Ellen! Mark, yeah, go ahead. Not sure where you now? Harris, where you now? Okay, copy. Yeah, I'll be pulling out as soon as one of you guys gets close. Yeah, affirmative. Okay, so 2 reasons time to leave. One is because other vehicles are coming in. The other one is because it's starting to get dark and we want to get back. See if we can see this leopard that's close to camp. I hope we can. Quite a distance to travel, and we'll have to go through no signal area to get there. We're going to say goodbye to this little boy. Beautiful light now. Another fire in the west. Negative, come up, Spinny. Yeah, copy that, Craig. I've got Jonathan arriving, Reese on standby. I'll be pulling out shortly. You'll be for standby. Next to the water. Not north, east. She's right there at that pad where we come out of camp. Well, they say they can't even get a vehicle in there. I can barely see it here. We can't get a vehicle in there. But still, she's going to move. By the time we get there, she's going to be moving. No, sorry, Andy, not yet. Wait.
stations I've left Ngala Lock, Jonathan on lock with Reese and Craig first standby. And the Ngala Lock has moved to channel 8. I think. Don't know. Okay, Ellen, Arkansas. Ellen was asking leopard and lion when they make a kill, does the herd of whatever animal it is, would they likely sacrifice one individual for, I guess, like an altruistic thing? Sacrifice an old or a young or an injured, maybe not young, for the sake of the herd, for the safety of for the protection of the rest of the herd? And the answer is no. Definitely not. It wouldn't really work, Ellen, because the predators, when they're hunting, they have to single out an individual. And in a lot of cases, especially with things like buffalo, in a lot of cases the prey species actually protect the injured and the old and the young. So it's not very often that the predator really gets the injured or the old or the young or the lame or the lazy. There's no such thing as lazy in nature. Only humans that are lazy. Trust me, I know, I've been lazy. I get lazy when I'm not working. When I'm at home and I'm waiting to hear about jobs and things. It's hard being a freelance person. Long periods of no work, short periods of intense work. As long as it pays the bills, that's what counts. But animals don't get lazy. Animals can't be lazy. Now, when it comes to hunting, predators have to observe the herd and the individual that they might go for, because they have to select an individual before they even make a hunt. And that individual is going to be one that is maybe not paying attention, maybe not quite in the middle of the herd. I'll just slip my earpiece up inside my jacket, never mind. So it can't really happen no matter which individual the herd might want the lion to catch or the leopard to catch. It's all up to the lion. Now, I guess you might say, well then why don't they push the one individual out of the herd? I don't think there is that much altruism in these circumstances. You know, when we're watching animals hunt predators and we're watching the prey species react to the hunting, very often we might find that one individual amongst the herd is likely to give off an alarm call and alert all the others, and we do see it somewhat as an altruistic action in that, yes, he's alarming, they're alarming and they're attracting the attention of the rest of the herd to the predator's presence. But a lot of debate can be said for whether this is an altruistic action, or whether it is an individual warning the herd, or is it really selfish? Is it really an act of an individual is it the act of an individual to secure its own future? And he should first choose to be good, because for one reason and one reason only, it is rely on surprise. And if a zebra or a zephyr or something shouting at the predator, that's surprise. There's no longer. It's no longer. I'm going to lose signal now. Listen. Are we locked? Unlocked. And so we got some. Action replay.
Rewind and action replay. Okay, sorry, I was heading too far south. I was so involved in my own story. Should have taken this junction again. So, when that individual, I don't even know how far I got with what I was telling you, but I was just saying that the individual who sees the first, even though it might seem that he's shouting or she is shouting at the predator and warning all other individuals, it's really a self-preservation thing. It's very selfish, because the element of surprise can no longer come into play. The predator can't go for the one that's shouting at, and so the one who shouts first is the one that is likely to be caught. And it doesn't really work, or it doesn't really, baby sprinkler, doesn't really work for the herd to try and nominate someone. I don't think that they would think that far. Although having said that, I've seen individual animals that are injured walk up to predator and almost expect or wait to be taken down. Not very often, on very, very few occasions, very rare occasions. One particular incident comes to mind with the zebra that 3 sub-adult lion had tried to catch in the morning. Their mother was so badly injured from a buffalo because they'd killed a buffalo with the whole pride, and then the female and her 3 sub-adult cubs had left the main pride after they fed on this buffalo, and the rest of the pride disappeared. And these 3 children decided to take it upon themselves to feed mom. Everybody, how are you going? Very good, and you?
Yeah, very good.
Good. Enjoy that. Nice idea, Ellen. Next question, please. Now just get a branch now. In Spokane, Washington, no doubt. Spokane sounds like it's around Washington somewhere. What can this lion kill to eat? Well, Brenda, he could eat a wildebeest, an impala. He could alright, let's do anything under the size of a wildebeest, I guess. He might be lucky taking down a zebra. He's got to go for an animal that the rest of the herd are not going to fight back. And while there might be a big herd of buffalo somewhere that might have a calf or an injured one, the herd of buffalo will probably defend any individual within the herd that is being attacked by a single lion. He would have to get an animal that is isolated from the herd. I have no doubt he's engaged in hunts before. I have no doubt that he's participated in bringing down animals. It's not something that will be new to him after this amount of time, after 4 or 5 years, nearly 4 years, however old he is. I think he's about 4 or something. And, well, he should be competent enough to bring impala. A little bit difficult. Impala, lion will go for impala at night, the same way they do in, say, places like Etosha in Namibia with springbok. During the day, lion wouldn't even get anywhere near a springbok, but at least when night falls, they're able to get closer to them and they're able to then hunt springbok at night. Same with impala. What I've noticed in the Sabi Sand, I've noticed it at home, is that during the day, impala are very alert. Lion being as big as they are, especially if there are a few of them, very difficult for them to get to an impala. But also, impala don't offer very much for a group of lions. Even though I've seen sometimes, I've even seen 7 or even 9 lions trying to feed on it. Well, it's not trying to feed on. There's nothing left within seconds. Each animal's got a piece of it and it's ripped it apart. But he could also scavenge. He could also listen for the alarm calls of animals and get closer to where they're calling, and maybe if there's a leopard hunting and the leopard doesn't get a kill up a tree, quite easy for him to then steal the kill from a leopard, or even hyena. He could steal a kill from hyena, he could steal cheetah's kill. But being a cat, being an opportunist, who knows, he might even swat a francolin or chew on a squirrel or something. Going to be very interesting in the next few days to see how far he gets. Now, to tell us, we're going to be going through a signal break from about now, I guess. We're going to have to get back up onto the other slope that you can see. It's really bad. Hope leopard if we can. And, well, the other thing that doesn't work with the cameras we're using is low light. So, a lovely glow that we have to all of you. And, well, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Brown-hooded kingfisher calling. I'm not hearing any other noises. So she's moved on. Fortunately, she's close by, and we're likely to maybe find tracks first thing in the morning. That'll be 6:30 Central African time, which is our time in South Africa, and we will be live looking for leopard. And short of finding leopard, what's that down there? Kudu. Yeah, kudu bull. Just run into the bushes. So we'll look for leopard first thing in the morning, and then of course we're going to have to go and find that male lion and see what he might have done overnight, or where he might have gone, and I'm sure that the guys will help us. Becky's done a great job again on camera. Thanks, Becky. And thanks to Andy back in FC sending all the questions. If I didn't get to any today, we'll get to them tomorrow. So from all of us here at Wild Earth and Thornybush Game Reserve, bye-bye everybody.